political party that goes against what Hollywood stands for. And of course, they found it right that celebrities would consistently make mockery of her at different award shows that she wasn't even in attendance. And Trevor certainly is one who decided to do it at such a big stage at the Grammys. And of course, people gave him the accolades. It was all fun and games. How dare Nicki goes against the grain. Black women are not supposed to choose their own political party and stuff like that. People found no problem with it. Now, here's the kicker. Whenever you do something like that, obviously people are going to expect that you will not affiliate yourself with anything remotely close to anything that Republicans do, especially not Republican businessmen. So recently, when it was being reported that he was one of the celebrity attendees at a party that allegedly was for heavily Republican businessmen, people are bound to ask questions. Where is that activism that you showed off at the Grammys? And this document that is actually circulating, it's not public. It looks like something that somebody might have posted in their close friends, and then someone decided to take a screenshot of the program. And there he is, Trevor Noah as a guest. So much for an activist. Now, personally, I'm not surprised, to be honest. Because I've always told you on this channel that if you think that celebrities care about any form of activism, I've got an island to sell you in Namibia. Because the reality is, all of your favorite celebrities actually do have a price. And most time, that price is not even anything else but just fame and opportunities. They will literally sell your head on a platter. If offered an acting role, if offered a presenting gig, if offered a record deal, they will literally do that. So when I see all of you applauding these people that are performative and, doing this entire selective activism stuff, I always get shocked. And here he is, your Grammy activist, behind closed doors, wanting an affiliation with Republican businessmen. So that concept alone does not make any sense. And I know you guys will try to say that, oh my god, but they are businessmen, it's business. So if it's just business for them, Nikki is also just minding her own business. Why do they feel like those white tea men they are performing for? It's okay for them to choose a political party that they want. But when it comes to people like Nicki Minaj and black women in the music industry, they feel like they're entitled to make decisions, political decisions for them. Is that not even worse than, anything else? Because if you are acknowledging that with these white tea men you regard it as business, why can't you just keep the same energy with Nicki Minaj? Because after all has been said and done, Nicki is not your family, and your associations with each other is strictly business. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. And allegedly, some of these Republican businessmen are not just regular businessmen. Allegedly, it is a company that was actively involved with the ICE deportations. Because does that not make it even worse? Seeing that recently, the biggest grievance that people have against the Republicans is the merciless deportation. So, if you are aligning yourself with a company that is actually heavily involved in that, aren't you contradicting what you claim to be your principles? Another person who was allegedly in attendance is Justin Bieber. He also allegedly was there performing because on that screenshot on the corner, you can see that the person who posted it was basically making mockery of the people that went to Coachella, saying that, well, others had to pay and to buy tickets for Coachella, and all that person had to do was show up for work. Well, does it mean that we will be anticipating a bit of backlash on Justin Bieber? The same backlash that people gave to Nicki Minaj? Or is that only reserved for audacious black women who are confident and who boldly walk in their choices and their truth? Time will tell. Now, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Now, if you've ever been in a friendship breakup, one of the worst ex friends that you could have is one who actively tries to befriend somebody that you both didn't like at some point just to prove a point. That is bitterness max. That is bitterness pro max, actually. Because what do you mean Ra Ali is now kumbaya with advocate BBL? What nonsense does this woman have? Sometimes I get shocked and then I remember this is the same Ra Ali who also played back and forth between Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj. So why am I truly shocked? And these desperate moves are honestly pathetic. For someone who used to consider someone a friend, at this point she is becoming desperate. I mean, she tried the entire baiting and speaking in court trying to get Nicki Minaj attention. When Nicki never publicly said anything about her, she got ignored. And now I guess the last resort is for her to befriend advocate BBL. Even if allegedly she is the one that gave her the knot that night. Is that not crazy? But then again, when you are desperate for a reaction, when your existence in the music industry or your relevance is attached to one person, you will do any and everything to still attach your name to that person, whether by talking about them directly or by trying to befriend their nemesis, so that something like this can be discussed and you will be included in some form of conversation. If only she knew that this is just making her look pathetic, she would have stopped. But knowing Advocate BBO and how desperate she is to be liked, I wouldn't be surprised if behind the scenes they made up with Nicki Minaj. Because if there is only one qualification factor about joining or being liked by Advocate BBL, it's going against Nicki Minaj. This is why you realize that in her fan base, in her friend groups, in the people that she works with, it's always full of people that don't like Nicki Minaj. If you just go to her, if you walk up to her and you say you don't like Nikki, trust me, she will give you a very big, warm embrace and a hug. And that took me back to the time where she was trying to roll out her music, and Ra Ali from Norway started coming with the story of them meeting at an airport. And people at that time even cloaked that that was seemingly calculated and it was a PR stunt. Now, with the way Ra is acting right now, I'm sorry, I do believe those people that said that this was a PR stunt. Now, let us move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Young Thug. It appears he has been up to some stuff. He's been making new friends. He recently posted a video of himself and Lil Kim, and of course, the internet is not receiving that well. They feel like this is him playing on Nicki Minaj's top, and this is just betrayal. Because in the past, all these guys have always made it clear that in the Lil Kim and Nicki Minaj thing, it is Nicki Minaj they are loyal to, and when it comes to Young Thug, Nicki has helped them in so many ways. Ghost wrote for him. I don't know if I can call it ghostwriting, if she is credited, but yeah, Nicki has really stayed loyal to this man, and so for him to be rewarded by this, of course, her fans would not appreciate that. Now, do I think at this point Nikki is shocked by anyone switching on her? I don't think so. I think she has seen the worst. I mean, she's seen the worst. If Drake, whom she considered a brother, was able to come out with Advocate BBL at the height of the hate train, what other betrayal would you expect? What other betrayal really would be too much for you to handle? I feel like that woman has gone through the worst and has faced the epitome of betrayal. So nothing will shock her or move her at this point. But with Young Thug, good luck moving the way that he is moving. Lil Kim, as usual, will not have an issue. If, as long as, seemingly people are mentioning her name, she's good with that. She is content when people play on her top. But let me know in the comment section what you think about that link up. Did you see that coming in 2026? Now, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, the state of female rap. We have Miss Lady Academics, and it seems like she's moving with a lot of confidence, or rather false confidence, whatever you want to call it. Now, recently she dropped her song. I think it is called Coconut Water. I don't have much to say about the song, but I have heard some of her music before, and it does not really interest me because it feels like a replica of somebody else. And when something is not original, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. But that being said, it seems like she is taking some jibs indirectly at other female rappers. Now, this is a post that she decided to share on her Twitter account, which was essentially ranking all the other female rappers and where they are sitting on Spotify in as far as streams are concerned. Now, this is what the tweet says. It says Coconut Water, that's her song, 138K, and then Barrier, and then under Coconut Water, there is GOMF, 114K, that's the one with Lottery Ticket and Cousin Sloth. We have Lava Girl, that's 94, we have Pretty and Petty, 83, Daily, 80, Outside, 74, and 30, 75. Business and Personal, 48K. So, of course, people feel like indirectly she is taking jabs at all the ladies whose songs she mentioned underneath hers. Now, here's the thing about Lady Academics that you guys are not able to see. I think with her, it's more than just the Nicki Minaj voice and cadence that she's mimicking. She's trying to replicate everything that Nicki Minaj embodies, okay, from her energy to how she came in the industry. Nicki came in cocky, she came in confident, but the only difference that Lady Academics seems to not understand is the fact that Nicki was just not cocky for no reason. She had the talent to match the cockiness. She had, the animated, effortless situation going on. She was pretty. She was the full package. And so trying to replicate all of that when you do not have a quarter of the talent is pretty much wasting everyone's time and wasting people's resources. And whoever signed her, I'm sorry. I don't know if you're going to make your money back, okay? Because it's becoming ridiculous, all right? It's too early for her to be this messy, especially if you do not have the talent to match that. But let me know in the comment section what you think about Lady Ack. Do you think that the industry is going to take her seriously? Now, seeing how the industry also is shifting, especially when it comes to female rap, I'm very sad for her. I don't know if I'm sad, but clearly making it as a female rapper, if you do not have any heavy push behind you, is going to be a little bit different. I mean, look at what now is happening to Glorilla. Look at Lottery Ticket. It's not doing well. Paprika Spice, Bongo 2. A lot of these girlies are really not doing well. But the difference is, when it comes to Advovo BBL, she has a huge machine behind her. And they feel like they can recover their resources in other ways than just music. And that's the reason why they continue to push her. Because when it comes to selling products and endorsement, they know they can recoup the money they might have spent on her album. So, and she is in a 360, right? So, you get the difference. But anyway, let us move on to Rick Ross, okay? Rick Ross is out there just self contradicting, saying one thing in a different podcast, another thing in another one. He's the one that essentially came out during the Drake H train. He literally waited for Kendrick to say something for him to also air out his grievances. And I don't like people like that. Like, if you're my friend and I offend you in one way, why do you have to wait for someone that I'm not friends with to say something? And then now you're piggybacking off that hate and now you're able to air out your views. That's just loser energy, in my own opinion. So he started now turning on Drake during the H train. He had a lot of smack to talk about him. And to justify it, he started saying that, oh, well, he's doing it on behalf of French. Okay? And I do think that for a moment, a lot of these men felt like this was going to be the end of Drake. And when that didn't happen, they ended up feeling like clowns. Because now, even when he is at a Vegas, he's not able to perform a Drake song, of which a lot of the songs that he has, a lot of the popular songs he has are Drake features. So of course, people are like, your catalog is not the same, and now he's like, oh, I'm not gonna perform the Drake part. I'm gonna silence his vocals and let the fans sing it. I'm just looking like, man, you're being a clown right now. So after all that and all they did, it appears he's now trying to backtrack. And these are the people that I don't respect. Stand on business. No, oh, I'm trying to tell you, Lou, homie, I don't want you to lose, man. I don't want you to, sir. Quick, nothing. Rick Ross just be acting like he's a philosopher and motivational speaker and speaking in the, oh, homie, quack, chicken's nothing, Rick Ross. Stay where you are, okay? If you say this man is a monster, let him be a monster far away from you and move on. Now, the OVO guys are not having it. They were clowning him in the comment section. They were all laughing at him, trying to backtrack and stuff like that. Now you're just looking like a clown. You've got all these boys laughing at you. For what? And this is exactly what happens when you are somebody who doesn't know how to stand on your own beliefs. When you're somebody who depends on other people's opinions to form your own opinion, this is essentially what happens. So I'm not sorry for Rick Ross for this. I hope they continue to clown him. I'll leave you listening to Akademiks, and of course, he is the #1 Drake defender. So he was obviously going to swing for Drake, okay? But anyway, that being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching. It was beautiful hanging with you on this beautiful Sunday. Tell me how your weekend was, and I will catch you tomorrow where we go back to the normal programming. Until my next one, see you.
Because you dissed him, and he cut off French Montana because you said that you were beefing with Drake because of French. Let's go down the timeline of things. Rick Ross basically says, yo, F Drake, he comes out during the battle, Drake ain't solid, da-da-da-da. When we kind of ask about the feud or when he drops Champagne Moments, he basically details a situation of Drake not being either a real friend or being a fake nigga by not giving or clearing a record, which supposed to be his Splash Brother record, for French Montana. Now, I want to give you a little bit of history on Rick Ross. Ricky Rose always came off to me as a very loyal guy. Do y'all remember when Rick Ross got into it with Birdman? By the way, he still gets at Birdman. He got into it with Birdman, claiming he was picking up for Lil Wayne during that contract dispute. He said, yo, that's not how you be a boss. That's not how you treat your man. He got into it with Birdman over Wayne. Now we hear he gets into it with Drake over French. Now, that seems like a loyal friend. But here's always the problem that happens with Rick Ross. The people you're getting into beefs over want to be friends with the person you're beefing with. Remember, this is why you don't get involved in people's situations and you don't get involved in toxic relationships. Because when 2 weeks later, when they're back cool and they're back friends, you're left on the outside, and the person who's not that cool with you, don't forget about what you said about them. It appears, and we've seen in other interviews by French has said, yo, I love Drake. He's still sending a lot of support to Drake, while you're the person who's calling BBL Drizzy, made a diss song, this and third, and now it's gotten to the point where people want to clown you, and I think that's the reason why when he does the shows, he has to do the funny shit where he's like, yo, don't play the song, or don't play his verse, or he's like, y'all sing it. So here's the thing. French seems to want to be friends with Drake. You were beefing with Drake, supposedly over French, but now you're on an interview literally saying to Drake, yo, Drake, you know this guy really like you, right? If anybody that Drake is going to listen to about if French likes him, it's not going to be you, Ross. Why? Because if I'm Drake, I got to be thinking like this. Damn, I thought French was my man. I gave him mad hits, right? I'm on pop that with him. I'm on No Stylist. I gave him No Shopping. Yo, I've been really hooking my man up. This one song, for whatever reason, didn't go whatever way. Oh, don't tell me you're upset with me, but instead of coming to me like a real nigga, you go to Rick Ross and have Rick Ross start dissing me at the worst time of my career because I'm getting jumped by everybody. So my own friend who I've given a lot to, French, I've done mad verses. This is my guy. He's unhappy about one instance. And at that point, he links up with someone else, and it must be some, I don't want to call it pillow talk because it's two men, but some type of like behind my back talk that's going on that gasses Rick Ross up to come diss me in the moment that I needed my friends to be either stand down, stay silent, or at least be supportive of me. He pops out at the moment trying to egg and incite another man and the other 20 niggas